Hey guys, it's Elle, and welcome to Aging in Fashion. If this is your first time coming, welcome. If you've tuned into my channel before, I'm sure you're quite used to me coming to you with some Wind Down Wednesday fashion. Yes, a fashion story. I love doing stories. Here at Aging in Fashion, that's what we're more about. We tell stories with our fashion. So we're usually out and about on the town because I tell you guys, my ladies here in the A are used to being outside. Yeah. We're ladies, professional ladies who have professional careers. We're making good, we're doing well, and we like to get out and celebrate. And so, that being said, don't scroll. I know that we've been influenced that 30 seconds is about what each person's attention span is. And yeah, that could be true. But is that really the narrative that we really want to be living our lives by? Because last time I checked, ADD, attention deficit disorder, is a mental disorder that deserves medical attention. So, anyway, that being said, let's just get into it. Tonight we're going to call this beer and baseball. Chilling at the crib, right? So, grab a beer or whatever your choice of libation is from the refrigerator, whatever you have on deck. Tonight, I thought I'd switch it up. Versus presenting a little fashion, I wanted to have a conversation. Hey guys, I hope everybody else is out there. Everybody out there is doing well tonight. If I didn't say that again, welcome to my channel. Please don't scroll. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and try to share my video for someone who may need to hear it. Every now and then, I feel like I just want to sit and relate and have a simple conversation with my subscribers and my followers. So we're going to talk about how to raise your standards with your fashion. And what are standards? I think we all know. But let me just give it to you. I consult with Chat GPT or the dictionary or whatever, to bring you technical information as well as what I know about it. And then I'll break it down to you in my simple terms and definition. The definition of standard is just a level of quality or attainment. And if I have to break that down, what it means to me is just a level of what you want to attain with your fashion, or what type of statement you're trying to attain or speak with your fashion, with your own fashion. So ladies, tonight's topic again is how to raise your standards with your fashions. Now ladies, have you ever wondered why men find us more attractive, or seem to find us more attractive when we're not at our best? I know you have probably heard this or said this or had a friend to say this. Why is it that when I go out looking busted, I seem to attract men? Now, I've often heard women say that it's because men think of us as a low maintenance and a woman who doesn't require much, which is why they find us more attractive when we feel we're not at our best or at our worst. But this thought gives the impression that he's evaluating us. But should we take this personal? Or is this really his way to evaluate a candidate for a future relationship? Is he really thinking that deeply or that far ahead? Or is he just reacting to what's in front of him at the time? Well, ladies, since we're here, this is a double message that's hard to decode. But let's just give it a shot. So, you know me, I'm one to consult with the digital method. Before coming on, I asked Siri, and Siri now takes us to Chat GPT, and their response is, and let me just read it to you. It said, it often comes down to perception and confidence. And when you feel you're not at your best, you may appear to be more relaxed, natural, and unguarded, which can come across as genuine and approachable. People are often drawn to authenticity and subtle vulnerability rather than a highly polished or self-conscious presentation. Now, that gives us something to think about, right? I mean, we're quick to always gravitate towards the negative, so it gives us something to think about. And ladies, at the same time, what does it really say about men? Is he really just looking for low maintenance, or do you shine through when you're naturally just going about your business and less concerned about how you look or how polished you are? Now, there are some women that won't step foot out of the house. They don't feel comfortable coming out of the house with all the makeup and all the trimmings. And there are those of us who are comfortable just being natural and in our own skin. Of course, if you feel one way or the other, you've actually set a standard. But guys, if you feel one way or the other, just be aware that your outward appearance sets a standard for how you are perceived by any and all onlookers, not just the male gaze. And yes, this may be what's called judging a book by the cover. But guys, I'm here to tell you that some standards have been set by our society, and we would be hard pressed to try and change them. American women have become very comfortable running errands and attending casual social affairs in attire such as sweatpants, oversized clothes in general. But to be fair, if I came across a police officer dressed in a uniform or a fireman, say for instance, dressed in a uniform, I would assume that he or she is a police officer or a fireman, just based off how they're dressed, right? Because there has been a standard set for what police officers, how they dress and what they represent. And while it is perfectly acceptable to dress in what makes us feel confident or confident, unconsciously, we're setting a standard with the attire that we most often choose. So guys, if you've been following my channel, I did put out a couple of videos centered around casual weekend fashion. The purpose of those videos were, since the weekend is the time that we're able to shine and show our true, authentic selves as the individuals that we are, this is a time where we might want to rethink what we're wearing in public and how we're being perceived. And my purpose for that video also, or another reason I publish those videos, is because I seem to be seeing quite a lot of ladies who have elected to spend their weekend running errands and doing, casual affairs like going to the movies, going to restaurants in big oversized t-shirts. And we're giving off a lot of masculine energy. And while masculine energy may be necessary in the workforce, this is a time I feel or a missed opportunity for a woman to shine and show her femininity. I kind of want to say, the world is suffering now. We're kind of like polarized when it comes down to the opposite sex. It seems like we're not on the same team anymore. And that is just really disturbing. I don't know where our future's going to go with that. Because women, yes, we are successful women here in Atlanta and probably some other major cities and just all over the world. Women have gone through a lot, and we are now seeing the benefits, and we're living our lives for ourselves and according to the way we feel about things. And so, we're out there and we're doing it. We're just doing the damn thing, right? But it's kind of causing somewhere there's been a disconnect as far as the two sexes are concerned. Men and women seem to be on the opposite end of the spectrum. Like we just don't like one another. And for me, that's very disturbing. I, for one, do love tapping into my feminine energy. And maybe it's because I'm no longer in the workplace. I am retired. I am afforded that opportunity. So yeah, I just want to put that out there. However, don't let me confuse you here. I don't believe that a woman needs to be dressed to the knife every time she's out running errands. There will come a time in all of our lives where we may be, perhaps working on the home project, and we may be doing things in the yard. Women are doing a lot of things that we used to hire someone or have a man to do. But again, a lot that has changed. This is 2026. Have no problem with that. So there are times when maybe sweatpants or tattered jeans, or let's just take tattered jeans off the list though, because we're now paying to have our jeans tattered or pre-tattered before we actually purchase them. So yeah, but there may be times when we find ourselves running out of some things and we have to make a quick dash to, say Home Depot or something, where there is heavy lifting involved, and, we've been in the house looking busted, and this is just, appropriate for the situation. So yeah, I'm not, so blinded to think that we're never going to be, or it's never going to be appropriate for a woman. And as a matter of fact, some of us manage to look kind of cute. Yeah, I personally used to love the boyfriend jeans and the sweatshirt and the things like that. But again, we're kind of going overboard, and we're missing a lot of opportunity for our feminine energy to be expressed in the world. And so it is a problem, because men are beginning to think that we're really kind of letting them know that we don't need them and we don't need them. we don't need anybody. We don't really, when it comes down to it, once we get past childhood, we don't really need a lot of people that we depend on. But I, for one, advocate for the old fashioned views of sometimes I need a man in my life. I just want a man. I don't want to necessarily need him, but it is nice to want to have them around. And by expressing all this masculine energy, sometimes the message gets a little misconstrued, is all I'm saying. So yes, guys, realistically, there are times when we're actually going to have to, be out in public, not necessarily looking fashionable, but appropriate for certain situations, things like running out to the Home Depot or whatever supply store you may use, to do certain errands, but there are some of the lighter lifting errands, like maybe going to the grocery store or maybe to the shopping center, and then out on Saturdays, where sometimes there's a missed opportunity. A lot of women, it's your prerogative, how you want to dress and how you feel, what standard you want to set. My motto is fashion has no expiration date, but I do believe in being appropriate for the situation. And guys, again, I don't believe that fashion has any expiration date. When it comes down to age, find a fashion that you feel confident in. I personally do feel that some fashions look better on certain body types than they do on others. But if you have problems with that, bear in mind that I specialize as a fashion consultant, and don't hesitate to hit me in the comments if you should need my help. I developed a little concept I call telestyle, which was basically, there was an occasion my niece was about to go out and she just needed a little help, in choosing what she wanted to wear. And it just turned out to be such an interesting day, an interesting time, that I said, this is really, really cute. A lot of times when people work as a fashion consultant, they're hauling a lot of fashion across town. But I hope you know that, if you've been watching my videos, I hope you know that I shop from my closet. Most of the things that I wear are straight from my closet. I do purchase some things now and then because I do like to keep my wardrobe fresh. But I like to think that my greatest talent lies in being able to take something old, maybe combine it with something new and create fashion. Or just show people that you don't really have to always be spending a ton of money to look classy. When you buy classic quality pieces, you're able to pair those pieces, mixing and matching, and the art of pairing high with low. Like, for instance, I am a person who is on a budget right now. I'm on a retirement budget. I've not always been on the same budget. So you're going to see that I have a few things that are a little better quality than other things, but there is an art called high and low, or mixing of high-end pieces with something that's a little less expensive. But that also will elevate your outfit. It'll elevate your look in ways where people will be a little confused, because while I do sometimes buy less expensive pieces, I still look for quality in fabrics. Yeah, that's a little trick to bear in mind as well. So guys, I just wanted to expound a little bit more on the telestyle appointment. I developed the idea, mainly because my niece had just inadvertently called me one day and was getting dressed to go to an event, and she wanted my help. And I thought, oh gosh, okay, so this is very convenient. So just using our phone cameras, we were able to swap out photos back and forth, and I was able to suggest, approve and, veto some of the choices that she had already made. It saves time and travel. And also, as I was saying, I shop from my closet. And so I am able to restyle some of the things that you probably have in your closet and have never thought to put, this with that or whatever. And so that is a part of my expertise. And, so that's telestyling. And so guys, I just want to say that as time passes and as we go through the timeline of our lives, staying abreast of how the world's changing and things that are trending, it only serves to keep our minds sharp, refreshed, and energetic, and not stuck in a time warp or stuck in time. It's fine for a lot of people. I was quite surprised when I watched this video. It was called "How to Not Look Like an Old Lady," and a lot of women were offended. Ladies, and in that video, the women expressed that they were offended because they felt that they had earned the right to look like an old lady. They were retired and they were tired of trying to impress other people. And so, ladies, this did come as a surprise to me, because there are millions, trillions of dollars being spent in the beauty industry by men and women who want to maintain their youthful and modern aesthetic. And this is the first time in life, retirement is the first time in life that we get to choose our own lifestyles and our own aesthetic. Retirement for us is the beginning of life, not the end. We choose to age fashionably, clean, and shine as though we're part of every room we walk into, and sometimes owning it. So, ladies and gentlemen, set a standard for yourself, embracing every fashion or every category of fashion, from casual to classy to avant-garde, or sometimes you can combine two in one. I suggest developing a look for both ways. For bad hair days, a cute hat. And for days where you don't feel like full course makeup, maybe using something like a light powder, or they now have, just very light foundations. Now, of course, a good skin regimen is always important to feel comfortable with less coverage, but that is a subject that we can discuss at another time. So, but in the meantime, never get stuck in one look, but develop looks that match your personality, looks that you can wear with confidence, and looks that fit the occasion. But anyway, ladies, being stuck in time is a choice. But if you feel you choose not to, or if you feel you could use a boost, my channel is not to sell you the actual outfits, right? Again, I don't sell the actual outfits you see me wearing in the actual video. However, they tell inspirational stories, right? My outfits tell inspirational stories for real time, real life occasions. So guys, what we've established here is that no matter which fashion style you attempt to attain, you are setting a standard by which you will be perceived by all onlookers, not just the male gaze. Guys, I just want to end by saying how you carry yourself, your body language, your ease and openness often matter more than your own self-assessment of your appearance. Bearing that in mind, peace out and have a lovely day. It's been really fun bringing this to you. Please like, subscribe, and share the video with someone who may need to hear it.